I believe you predicted the NFC East. But sorry, I mean, I didn't even get a chance to introduce you. My co-host, Robert Jokinen. Where you reporting live from, Robert?
Reporting live from DC, from Big Ten territory in the biased East Coast. I don't know if I can flip my camera. Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah,
Did
there
I
you
flip
go.
it? I don't know if I did, but you can see the
You just flipped
rotunda.
it back.
Okay, you can see the rotunda in the distance to our YouTube viewers.
There you go. There you go. Well,
But
that is
yeah,
a
reporting from Big Ten territory, and I've seen nothing but Virginia Tech gear. Absolutely no Maryland fans here. What a surprise!
yeah, that's
The
tough,
most
man.
Maryland thing I've seen is license plates, not gear.
You're probably gonna see a lot of that, honestly. But there you go,
Go
DC.
Hokies.
We did the math and we thought, hey, we're a Big Ten country, but no, apparently. I mean, at the end of the day, affiliation is gonna be affiliation. If everyone there's a Virginia Tech fan, that's ACC country, my friend, which might
Maybe the
soon
tide
be
turn.
including Stanford,
Maybe
Cal,
the
and SMU.
oh gosh, maybe the tides turn because with all that Big Ten money, I think with how the Virginia Tech is locked into 30 million until 2036, you could maybe see a change in the guards. But I mean, if Talia Tua got Tua Tua's
I'm gonna
older
make you
brother,
struggle.
younger brother, can't change the tide for the Terps. I don't think many people can. Although the Big Ten East is just freaking brutal, so they don't have any
Mhm.
favors.
Well,
The Terps will be better there's when there's no more divisions. How is that?
I could see it because they won't have to be stuck playing Ohio State, Michigan every single year, and Penn State, and yeah, so
And their
they
flex
kind of
protect will
like
probably
they
be like Rutgers too.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, it will be. I mean, shoot, the three best teams in the Big Ten, current Big Ten, and maybe eventual Big Ten too. You could probably argue three best teams are all currently in the Big Ten East. Probably not Penn State. I'd probably take SC, Oregon, UW
That's a
over Penn
tough
State.
one. That's a tough
But
one.
Michigan, Ohio State, for the time being, I think are firmly locked in as the top two, even when
Oh
it does
yeah,
expand to 18. So, um, there you go. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Well, I
and
think
the
it's time we
ground.
get into it.
We don't have humidity on the West Coast, so
That is
my
true.
hair absolutely has been exploding. But it's not been that bad. I've been doing just fine. I just have
How
funny
hot?
hair.
How hot is it out there? I was talking to some
It's not
folks
been
from
too
Carolina
bad.
today.
It's really not been too bad, but
Okay.
people have been saying it's a bit milder right now. It was like
Okay.
30s in humidity. Well, it said 60 this morning, but I don't think that was right.
Mhm.
It was a little hot. I will say that it was a little hot, but I persisted. I dealt with it.
You survived. Well, credit to you for
Survived.
surviving. It's
Oh, I
yeah.
very sadly have a correction to make from last
Yes,
week's
please.
episode. The shout out was factually incorrect.
Mhm.
Russell is not my uncle. He is my cousin, technically. Don't know how that
Wow.
works.
Cousin
But
Russ.
I'm so sorry for everyone I'm disappointed with this horribly infactual reporting. I'll have to do better from here on out. But thank you to our best listener of our horrible podcast. Let's get to it.
Hey,
Let's spin the wheel.
hey, no, it's not horrible. Yeah, you know who else I heard from is our other shout out, Daniel Lisenby. He checked in.
Shout out.
He said he liked our NFC North predictions, but that we're too high on Chicago, which I think we kind of said probably. Um,
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's definitely fair. I would, I remember, I think we said that we were surprised with how Chicago did.
mhm, yeah. So, but yeah, it is after
Ooh, actually,
11.
let's go over a little bit of NFL news.
Okay, all
Jonathan
right, let's
Taylor
go for it.
trade stuff.
Yeah, it
Not going
said
to fetch much.
approved of trade. It sounds like the Colts won't even trade him unless they can get a first. I mean, what he
And
holds out.
that means he's probably not getting traded.
No, probably not. He'll probably hold out for a while and then show up in like
I'd
week
love to see him
five.
be a Bill. I'd love to see him be
I
a
don't
Bill.
think he'll be. No, they've already stocked up on running backs. I bet like a team like Miami could probably make that swing. You see,
I've seen that one a lot.
Philly was interested. Could you
Oh
imagine
my
that?
God.
Just hand them the NFC Championship
Absolute
right
Death
now.
Star right there. Well, they already have good running backs anyways, though.
Yeah, they already got Swift, Gainwell, Penny. Who
Penny,
else
if
they
he can
got?
stay healthy. If Penny stays healthy behind that O line, he's going to be quite good.
Yeah. So That would be freaking insane
Mhm.
if they pulled that out. What else is going on in the NFL? Couple big receiver injuries. Terry McLaurin
Mhm.
and Jackson Smith and both former Ohio State receivers too. So what are they putting in the water in Columbus?
I think Jason plays week 1.
Interesting.
I'll be
I mean, it
surprised
is
if he
3
doesn't.
weeks. It's 3 weeks from this past Sunday is week 1. So
Mhm.
there's time. There's time. But it's cutting it close, especially when I texted you this. When you go under the knife, it's always tough.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that's very true.
so
Yeah, no, the
um
Seahawks rookie class is really banged up right now. Really
mhm,
banged up. But it looks
yeah.
like the only person who won't be available for sure week 1 is Mike Morris, our guy, the pod favorite.
Mhm.
We need a Mike Morris interview.
I
Um,
do. That should be the first one, man.
and I'd say probably Spoon. I don't think he'll be ready, but we'll see.
That's tough. That'd be tough. Now, week 1, who they play week 1 again? No, LA. They play the Rams week 1. Um, at home. Yeah,
Against Stetson
probably get
Bennett,
away with it. Probably get away with it. Let's see. Other NFL news. Is there anything else really going on?
a lot of
Um,
fights in training camps.
there have been a lot of fights for sure, for sure.
And like I usually say, it always happens at training camp. This is quite a few. I like the Kevin Stefanski's rules though. If you fight and you're a starter, you have to play in
Yeah,
the preseason game. And if you fight and you're not a starter, you don't get to play in preseason. That's pretty awful.
that's tough, dude. That's costing people jobs, but at the same time, that's fair. You were an idiot. You
Sometimes you gotta fight, and I hope in those circumstances that
okay,
the rules
Dion?
would be changed.
Okay, Dion.
But that was so. Did you see what I said? I don't know if I
I
X'd
did.
it,
No, no, no. I
but I said
saw it.
I
I saw
said
it.
good teams don't do that. I
No, of
feel like
course
I've said
not.
that like 50 times for any news that comes out from Dion.
Yeah,
Good teams don't do that. Good teams don't like make you stand at attention. You see the Colorado like players doing impressions of their coaches
I did
and
see
like
that.
did
That
the
was funny.
we're assisting you, stand up. That was pretty funny. But yeah. Oh, and have you seen like the pictures of that? Like I don't know if it was. I think it was the DB room and how tiny they looked.
Mm-hmm.
They're
It was
gonna be
wild.
bad this year, huh?
Yep.
They're gonna be probably around the same win total, maybe two more. They're gonna be a lot more entertaining though. I'll give them that.
I
People are
mean,
gonna be
they're gonna
watching.
be they're people are gonna be tuning in. Shoot, I'm reactivating my Fubo account just so I get the last year of Pac-12 network. It's the only reason.
Ugh,
Um,
no thanks. I sell the
the
highest teams, my friend.
the last year. Okay, this is
I'm
the
gonna be
this is.
watching it. I'm gonna be watching it. I'm just not buying Fubo TV.
I mean, I already had it. I just have to reactivate it for the
Oh,
season because
okay.
they don't have it on YouTube TV. Which now carries NFL Sunday Ticket in case we want to sponsor.
If
But
one of us fights, the whole team fights. If one of us gets suspended, the whole team gets suspended.
don't do that, Dion. That's how. That's not a good idea.
Oh, another interesting football news, college football news, was
Hmm.
Swamp Swamp Kings.
Oh,
I
it
heard it was a
sucked.
total urban pup
No,
feast.
it was a certain dude. They didn't talk about Aaron Hernandez once.
That's what everyone wanted to talk about.
That's the subject. Like, come on. And they didn't talk in
Oh,
the I didn't. So apparently, in the Manziel documentary, they didn't talk about alcoholism or his struggles with substances at all. Apparently,
God
these
damn
Netflix
it.
documentaries suck, is what everyone's saying.
These were going to be my content for my flight back. God damn
Everyone
it.
says these documentaries suck.
I heard the
Which is
Manziel one was actually kind of good.
I I thought I heard it was good, and then as soon as the Swamp Kings one came out, people started to go back to the Manziel one. It's like, wait, they left out a lot of stuff that is kind of important.
Mm, yeah.
So I feel like it's almost like once you see a really bad one, it's like it makes you reevaluate. Like,
Mm,
was that one actually
okay.
good? It's kind of like the Star Wars sequels problem. When Force Awakens came out, everyone liked it, and then as soon as Last Jedi and Rise of
Like, oh,
Skywalker
this one
came
was
out,
good.
everyone was like, Force Awakens wasn't actually that good.
I'll stand
I
high
don't know.
on my ground that I wasn't blown away by Force Awakens either.
I liked it when it came out, and then I just
I honestly I think Last Jedi was the best of the three. How is that?
really. That's a
How's
bold.
that?
That's a bold take. That's a bold take. I still think Force Awakens is probably the best one, but none of them hold a candle to the best Star Wars movie, which is obviously the holiday special.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna actually say your actual opinion.
No, the actual best one is Revenge of the Sith. I will say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, this isn't a Star Wars podcast, although maybe it will be someday.
As
No,
much as
this
we
is
want it to be.
that's true. This is the goose. I think it's time we spin because it's already unless there's any more news we want to cover. Corey Davis retired today. Rest in peace.
Corey Davis, what died?
No, I just say he retired. I just like rest in peace to his career.
The Jets.
Yeah, Corey Davis, Jets receiver.
Wow,
retired.
you know those camp retirings. Those camp
that's tough.
Like,
it's always tough
anymore. Those were two great college receivers in that draft, and both of them didn't pan out.
Yep.
Corey Davis.
John Ross and
Western
Corey Davis.
Michigan almost made the playoffs that year.
Dude, I didn't even realize Michigan. John Ross and Corey Davis retired within like 3 weeks of each other. That's wild.
Jeez. What could have been for those two, man? Yeah. I don't know what happened with Corey Davis, but I know for Ross it was injuries.
And
he was too fragile. Most electric player ever watched, though. Always will be a fan of his.
Yep. But that's pretty much it as far as football news.
Short one. We got to
yeah. Let's spin the wheel here. What do we got? NFC East is your call. We are going to land on the NFC East. Look at that.
That's good.
When you're on the East Coast, we get the NFC East. In fact, we're actually going to be starting with this town, with the city that you are currently in, the Washington Commies. Let's see. I'll pull up their PFF report here.
Very low on them, although they did dethrone the longest streak in football.
They did.
The Ravens preseason streak, which I think it dated back to the Justin Tucker, Bill Belichick replacement refs game.
Let's see, Washington. Dang it, they don't have an off season thing for the freaking
I don't know
Commies,
if that doesn't make sense because that was 2012.
No, I think it was like 2014, I want to say.
Okay, then someone totally misled me on the internet. Which is
Washington Commanders off season. Here we go. Let's try this. Okay. We're going to good old ESPN. But hey, okay, so Commies. They added Eric Bieniemy at offense coordinator. That should help a lot. Player. What's that?
They added Cody Barton.
Cody Barton, yeah.
I think he did add Cody Barton. That was a big oopsie.
Getting Eric Bieniemy is a huge win.
You think that's going to work for him?
I think it will. It's a huge win. I mean,
he was under the shadow of Reed, though.
Oh, he definitely was, but he's also learned a lot from Reed, I think. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it works out. I have faith that.
Have you heard all the stories that like a bunch of players don't like how mean he is?
I have heard those. Yeah, I also heard those same stories in Kansas City, though. So we'll see.
Supposedly that was the biggest reason why he wasn't getting hired, not the DV case.
Yeah,
not being the Ken Norton Jr. of a good team.
Yeah. Many reasons, but if he can make this Washington offense solid, then he might have a shot. Who knows? But looking at their offseason, not a whole lot going on. They did bring in let's see, what's his name? The tackle. It's not Andrew Wiley. Was Andrew Wiley the tackle they brought in from No, he was already there. Who am I thinking of? The tackle they brought in from Kansas City. He was the right tackle last year. I know they signed him. He's not on the list. You see, this is why we go to the PFF.
I don't remember. I'm thinking of he's white.
I know who is it. I feel like it might just be Andrew Wiley, and they're reporting it as it definitely was Andrew Wiley because that was him in a Kansas City uniform right there. So yeah, it was Andrew Wiley. That was in Kansas City. Okay, so brought him in to be starting right tackle, moved Sam Cosmi into right guard. No, Brandon Scherf's been in Jacksonville for a year now. Let's see. That's probably their biggest offseason acquisition, that right tackle. Cody Barton. Let's see. Jeremy Reeves.
Players I've ever seen. Horrible.
Chase Royer. their
You're gonna
draft. I
be on
mean,
your own for this. The text is too small.
yeah, that's fair. In draft, hey, they brought in Emmanuel Forbes and Quan Martin, couple fun DBs there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is kind of an unassuming offseason for them, to be quite honest. I think the biggest thing that happened for them is they finally got a new owner,
Mm-hmm.
which by default is going to take them in the right direction because man, Dan Snyder was terrible. So
Oh, well,
be
the
looking for it.
worst.
I'm
The
glad
worst.
that he's out of football. Just the worst. I agree. So let's get right in to their season
You know,
because
let's be honest here. This is probably the last year of the Ron Rivera era.
it
It's
probably
not
is.
only with the performance, but also a new owner probably wanted to get his guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ron Rivera. I think he's a good guy, good coach, great story. So that's just kind of a bummer, but it hasn't worked in Washington.
Yeah. So getting into their schedule here. So we got them at 1-8 right now going in.
Oh, I'm
We're
not seeing any
probably
wins.
I think there are a couple in here. I think there are a few. So let's get right into it. Because they actually
Playing
weren't far
Philly
off of being a
twice in the
playoff
first
team
half
last year.
is
Yeah,
rough.
that's tough. But remember, they did beat them once last year.
Broncos in September is a very known hostile place to play.
Mhm. Yeah, so feel good about the Broncos there. They're not winning in Philly. Actually, that is where they won last year, though. So, but I'm not projecting that. Going to
Was it like
Atlanta.
early though?
What's that? No, they beat Philly in like week 10 or 11
Oh
in
yeah,
Philly.
that's
It was a
right.
Monday night
That
football
was a
game.
fluke. That was a total
It was
fluke.
a fluke game. It was a fluke game. Although again, Washington was not far off of being a playoff team last year. It's kind of funny. People forget that. Um, but
How? That was not a good team.
it really wasn't. But they just
What
were
happened
they
to
were
Chase Young,
scrappy. They
man?
found ways to win. Chase Young, oh, he was out for most of the year too. So
I know.
he's gonna be
He
back.
was so fun
Maybe
his
we're
rookie year.
underrating Washington a little bit here.
I don't know if he'll return it for him though.
I guess we'll see. He will after he gets traded to Cincinnati.
Not a fit.
But
He's a top
no,
three defense fan.
I think they do beat Atlanta with this mini bye
Okay, I like
here.
that.
Um, I think they split the Giants too.
Okay,
We'll
boys
just call it a
split.
home. We'll just call it a home split. So we'll give the
Okay.
Giants that one.
I don't
When
think they
Philly
split
comes
the
to town,
Eagles.
do or don't.
Think so? Don't.
Do not. Me neither. Philly just looks like a juggernaut right now. I'll be honest. There's the split with New
Mm-hmm.
York right there. I think they can split Dallas too, to be quite honest with you. They did
And
last year.
Thanksgiving,
This is a Thanksgiving game.
give it to Washington.
Yeah,
Remember the
what
last time
Cowboys
Washington was there on Thanksgiving?
I
That
do.
horrible fake punt.
I
I'll
do.
never
Oh
get
man.
running that reverse play when it was like 4th and 20.
Man. And
And
then
then,
here we
and then
go.
Antonio Gibson had 2 huge rushing touchdowns after that too. Like it became a total embarrassment. That was awesome. I replay that game sometimes. That was a fun one.
And then here we go. We actually are already done with the schedule until we get to week 18 and they play the
Jeez.
Cowboys again.
Hell,
Do we
give it to the
could
Cowboys.
call it a split and
Cowboys have
then
been
call
jockeying
them,
and proceeding.
yeah, 4-13. Jeez, a 4-13 year in Washington. That's tough, especially after they
Tough,
almost made the
but
playoffs last year.
I think that's right.
Guess we'll see, man. I think I'm a little higher on them than you are, but I
They
also,
got they
I
got
want
the
to see if
they
it's
got the
Tannehill.
AFC West though.
That is true. I mean, that's 4 losses right there, like built in.
Wait, no, they
So
don't. No, they do they?
no, they don't. No, they only have the Broncos. They only have the Broncos. The
They
AFC, they
have
play the AFC
the
East because they got the
still
Bills and the
still hard,
Patriots.
still
It's
hard.
still really hard, and we still got them going 0-4 against the AFC East. So, yeah,
Getting the
um,
Broncos as your opponent is a tough draw.
especially as a fourth place team. Like you
It's a
could have
really
had the
tough draw.
Browns, you could have had the Browns, the Texans, or the Jets probably would have been tougher. Granted, they got the Jets anyways, but
Still a tough draw.
yeah.
It's because
Really
the
the only win there would have been the Texans. So AFC's tough, man. AFC's gonna be
Yeah,
really
it's
tough
really
this
hard
year.
right now.
So we are
Yeah,
moving
this is gonna be a
on
rough
to
season. I'm just not a believer in Sam Howell. His haircut, I didn't think it was as bad as people were saying. It didn't. It looked fine.
I haven't seen it yet. Hold on.
It was
Sam Howell
well. He like
haircut.
after it happened, people like the day after he got it styled, so it wasn't even that bad. You just said it looked messy.
Let me see this. Sam Howell haircut. Oh, that's not even it. Okay. I don't know.
It was a very minor Twitter thing, I feel like.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on Washington?
Ron Rivera, great guy. I think it's time to retire from coaching.
I think so too. I think so too.
Game's passed you by, buddy. It's a young man's game. You've been coaching.
You're going to be in the Carolina Panthers Hall of Fame if it makes you feel any better.
I can't believe he coached through cancer.
That's wild, man. That's wild. It made the playoffs.
He almost beat Tom Brady.
They did. That's Tom. And they went on. They played the.
Rivera has a good record against the Patriots, against Belichick or Brady. He does.
It's true. That's
Isn't he from the Coward coaching tree?
I honestly couldn't even tell. Yeah.
I think he coached with the Ravens, the 2000 Ravens.
Maybe.
What head coach is that? I always forget. C. So for the C.
Oh wait. I feel like that's Brian Billick, not
Brian Billick. Yep, you're right.
Because Bill Cowher is the Steelers coach.
I was confused the two. I think it's the Billick.
Names.
I think Ron Rivera's from. There's a lot of coaches from that 2000 Ravens team. Marvin Lewis works, Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marvin Lewis, another one.
Maybe not. I gotta look this up. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you. All right, we're doing some live research here on the pod.
3. Looks like it's Randy Reed.
Andy Reid, really? There you go.
Yeah, he's Andy Reid. That's right, because he was in that documentary. That short where they had they had a throwback of the homegrown coaching tree where Andy Reid was part of it. And they did the same thing with Andy Reid and his tree.
There you go. Fun stuff. Awesome. So I want to move on
Todd
to
Bowles was considered in the Andy Reid coaching tree, which I don't agree with that.
Yeah, Todd Bowles. That's true. I usually think of Todd Bowles as more Bruce Arians, but
oh yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I think Todd Bowles would probably say the same.
Yeah, but
all right, let's go to
cool. Let's move on. Let's move on
Giants.
to the Big Apple, the New York Football Giants.
That's where I'll be tomorrow. Let's go.
There you go. Maybe then you'll be in Dallas the next day, and you'll be in Philly the next day. Dallas will probably be a little bit out of the way.
Jersey at the Lincoln Memorial.
That makes sense. There's probably not going to be a lot of Commies fans out there right now.
There's probably tourists as well.
That's true. I mean, that's literally what it was.
Tourists wearing their jerseys or sports team shirts, just telling you exactly where they're from. I love that. That's one of my favorite things. I've seen some fantastic tourist shirts this week. My favorite was probably "I love my wife" in all caps on the back of the shirt. It's I really love my wife. I think it's that.
Well, I bet his wife bought it for him.
Oh, absolutely.
That's actually a funny shirt, honestly. I'm gonna think about that one. But cool. So as far as the New York Football Giants go here,
interesting offseason.
They did.
Waller?
Darren Waller's a big get. They also brought in Deonte Banks in the draft, who I really liked.
You like him a lot. That's right.
Jalen Hyatt. Good speeder receiver out of Tennessee. JMS is a New York Giant as well. They had a solid draft, honestly, all considered.
I'm excited to see some more Wan'Dale Robinson.
That's true. Wan'Dale Robinson. That's right. That was a guy we both liked coming into the draft a couple years back.
That was last year.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, last year.
Yeah, they were starting. They were playing David Sills at receiver last year.
Bad. Hey, but you know what?
He shouldn't have been in the NFL. I couldn't believe he was still there. I just remember him from West Virginia.
I love the Isaiah Hodgkins breakout though. He's a guy.
That was fun.
That was so fun. He's the wide
I
receiver
all I
one now, man.
remember all I remember David Sills from is the Will Greer Texas upset. That was such a fun game.
Right. Hey, that's the same.
I can't believe Will Greer's a Cowboy now. Man,
Hey,
I really liked Will Greer. I thought he
that's
was
the
gonna be
same.
star.
That's the same. West Virginia team that had former Seahawks fourth round
Gary
pick,
Jennings.
which Gary Jennings, yeah. And
He
as we
made
know,
he made the
Seahawks
game
fourth
winning
round
catch
wide
actually.
receivers. Really? Did he?
Well, he made the game winning catch, and then Will Greer scored a game winning QB draw 2 point attempt. I think Dana Holgerson he was the West Virginia coach at the time.
Yeah,
That
Dana
was
Holgerson.
ballsy as fuck going for
Hmm.
two at Texas, and like immediately the whole line's going like, oh, he's down. They get like they're kicking from like their own 25.
Yep. Yep. Almost allowed the
Man,
comeback. Almost did it, but they didn't.
I
Um,
can't. There's no way that the SEC's banning it, right? That was
Banning
literally
what?
done to keep Texas.
Oh, horns down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they're not banning it. SEC doesn't care. Texas A&M would force them to not ban it. So
Oh yeah.
trust me, there's not going to be a lot of love for Texas when they come in. Maybe from the SEC commissioners and stakeholders because Texas is going to bring in a lot of money. But the
Mhm.
teams, Saban,
Hugh
uh,
Freeze.
Hugh Freeze, shoot, I mean the A&M program in general. Oklahoma's coming over with them. Shoot, even Missouri. Missouri's a former Big 12 rival from
Mm.
way back in the
Did I
day.
did I ever show you that Eli Drinkwitz quote from it was he brought up like the American Revolution out of nowhere on like a quote about like the NIL. It was like the funniest thing ever. It was so long ago.
Who's the LSU coach again? I can picture his face, the old Notre Dame coach, but I can't remember his name right now. I'm blanking
Brian
on it.
Kelly?
Brian Kelly, that's right. Dude, Brian
Oh
Kelly, when
boy.
he has a chance to avenge, Texas is back, folks. You think he hasn't been sitting on that for 7 years? Oh man, he's gonna go out firing.
Is
Um,
Texas gonna be back?
not year one in the maybe this
You
year,
know
but
who
as soon
you
as
know
they
who
go to
is
the
back
SEC,
year
who's that?
one of their SEC time now is Texas A&M. That was Johnny
That's
football
true.
years.
Johnny
It's
football
they're
years.
gonna
That's
have
right.
a Johnny football time with Arch Manning.
With Arch
How bold
Manning.
is that?
That's true. That's true. Will he only start one? What? Well, because let's see. No, they're going next year. So
I heard
24,
he's lighting it
25.
up.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. No, they'll have 2 years. Yeah. So he'll probably redshirt this year, either redshirt or just be the backup this year. Quinn will go to the draft next year. And then, yeah, first year in the SEC, Arch Manning will be starting. That's fun. That's fun.
I was doing something really stupid for a long time. I thought this year Texas was in the SEC.
No, not this year. Next year.
I
Next
know,
year's
I
when
know,
all the chaos starts. So,
I
and it's
know.
also when the playoff expands to 12 teams. So it's gonna be a chaotic year for college
For
football.
now, who knows what it's going to expand to?
That's true. That is true.
All right,
But
let's go to the
anyways,
Giants. How do you
yeah.
feel about Darren? Okay, here's the one question mark about Darren Waller for me, other than the obvious ones.
Hmm.
You know, just healthy, you know, stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
you know, Dable's a great offensive mind, but he was never a big tight end user at Buffalo.
He wasn't. He
I
wasn't.
think the solution to that is make Waller just a true X if he
See
doesn't
that?
really want if he underutilizes it or spread
I
him
mean,
out
he
a
was
little bit more.
drafted as a receiver. Baltimore used him as a receiver. He
Yep.
started to become a tight end when he moved over to Vegas.
And he's a pretty slim tight end, anyways.
No, he's a light tight end for sure. A light end, one might argue.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
So
All right,
maybe
what's week one? I
let's see
can't
that.
tell what that
They're
logo
playing the
is.
Dallas Cowboys at home in
Ooh,
week
that'll
one.
be fun. What night is that?
That's
Monday night?
Sunday night. Of course, it's Cowboys Giants in week one. It's Sunday night
That'll
football, in
be
case you
fun
had to
though. That'll
ask.
be fun. Oh man.
I'm going Dallas on that one, I think.
Yeah,
I think I don't know. I don't think the
you're high
Giants will
on the
be
Cows.
bad, but I think they will fall back down to earth a little bit this year.
I think so too. I think there's a lot of what I like to think about this is I think about Matt Nagy 2018. really holding together a bad offensive roster with smoking mirrors.
Yeah. And I think Brian Dable's a better coach than Matt Nagy. So I don't think it'll fall back down to earth that hard.
Matt Nagy win Coach of the Year his first year?
He did. He did, yeah.
Come from a super esteemed offense?
I feel better about
I would feel better about a guy who has a fistful of Super Bowl rings.
Mitch Trubisky. That's true. Mitch Trubisky versus Daniel Jones. Man, there's a lot of similarities there. The difference is
but guess what? The Bears had a much better defense and still did bad.
It's true. Shoot, man, you might have an argument here. I don't know. I would take Daniel Jones over Mitch Trubisky, though.
I absolutely would.
And Saquon's more talented than pretty much any player on that offensive Bears team.
Cohen believer?
No, unfortunately not. Not compared to Saquon, at least. But here you go. So the Giants, we got them at 4-8 right now. Lose to Cowboys, beat the Cardinals, lose to the Niners, lose to what a stretch here. Lose to the Niners, Seahawks, Dolphins, and Bills.
That's a brutal.
That's 4 games in a row. That's just rough. Then they get the Commies at home. They win there. They get the Jets at home, although it's not really a home game because both teams are at home, quote unquote home. They lose that one. And then the schedule does lighten up on the back end a little bit, although they do have 2 games against Philly in the last 3 weeks. That sucks. Maybe they're hoping that Philly's, that's the Raiders at the top here. Going to Vegas. I might actually pick the Raiders in this game because east to west. But I'll listen to your argument here because we'll see.
I think the Giants are just a much better coach than the Raiders.
They are. They objectively speaking are. But yeah,
I give them the win. They need a win after that stretch.
They do. Then they play the Cowboys again. Last year the Cowboys swept the Giants, and I think they can do it again this year. Then they lose to the Commies, lose to the Patriots, beat the Packers at home. Wow, we are giving. I think they beat the Saints.
I think so too.
They go to the Superdome. At this point, they see, hey, 2 of our final 3 games are against Philly. We need to win these. Even if they do win, so at this point, we take off this. They're 5-9. If we take off that win, we already have them getting against the Rams. Man, that's tough.
Giants split.
I say they lose the first game, win the second one because in the second one, Philly's already playing the one number 1 seed.
Be resting starters.
Yep, they've already got the 1 seed, and they're going to be going up against Marcus Mariota. So they finished 7-10. So how's that for falling back down to earth?
That is a surprising sound. I thought that would be worse.
I did too, honestly. I did too. We had them going. I had already with 4 wins.
They have a brutal schedule.
Yeah, they play the NFC
this might
West.
Be the hardest schedule in football.
I don't know, because like the NFC West outside of Seattle, like you do get Arizona and you do get LA. And also in the division, you get Washington. Playing the NFC East sucks. Do we have them getting? Yeah, we have them getting swept by the AFC East. I mean, we have them getting swept by the AFC East. That's brutal. Getting swept by the Cowboys, splitting the Eagles only because the Eagles are going to be resting starters. It is a tough schedule, but I don't know about toughest in all football because you do get the Cardinals. You do get the worst team in football.
Let's move on to
the Dallas Cowboys
team.
The Dallas Cowboys. We them boys? Say it, Rob. We them boys.
I hope their fans are ready to be disappointed again.
We them boys.
What do you think about Micah moving to edge full time?
I think it's probably the right move. He's freaking dominant.
Did Micah succeed from the Jamal Adams question? The Jamal Adams 2020. Blitzing a lot, scheme blitzes, free pressures.
Nah, Mike is a freaking stud, man. He was lined up at edge more often than he was lined up at off-ball linebacker anyways. Like, it's not going to be that big a departure.
He's a little small of an edge. He's a little small.
He is, but he's apparently packed on some weight.
We're
It's
talking
up to
about
like
height and length.
that's fair. He's a stud, man. He
He's a
might be the best
really good
defensive
football
player in
player,
football. He
but
might be the
that is
best defensive player
it's
in
a
football.
fair question to ask.
No, it is a fair question to ask. I'm not arguing with you, but it's just like
Dan Quinn knows how to use them. Cue ball.
that's true. Dan Quinn is we've already talked about this. Dan Quinn is probably the quintessential like elite defensive, probably elite defensive coordinator, just not a good head coach. At least not in Atlanta. Although he did
really
take Atlanta to a
adapted.
Super Bowl. He did take
He's
Atlanta
really
to a Super Bowl.
adapted since he became Cowboys DC because they did not. You know, the Seahawks Super Bowl players will tell you they had 3 play calls in the Super Bowl and used 2.
It worked, man. It worked.
And it worked. It shut down the best offense in history.
Dallas might have. I mean, it's before Dan Quinn got there. Dallas probably had a bottom 3 defense in all of football, and now they probably have a top 3 defense in all of football. Like he's
some stuff out.
Awesome. He's an awesome defense coordinator.
Now they did have good pieces, though. I will say that.
Yeah. Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs was there before he got there. Trying to think who else.
But he did figure out, like his mentor, you don't need to put $30 million a year for safeties. You can get a man off the street to play safety.
Hey, don't disrespect Donovan Wilson. He's a good player.
Well, guess what? You can find a lot of those. There's a lot of
he was a 6th round pick.
You can't play corner, but change the safety in our late round athletic defensive backs that change to safeties. There's a lot of those.
That's true.
Guess what?
True.
One of them's name's Jarek Reed. You just drafted him.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, come on, it's just bad team building.
We're looking at
we have 3 safeties, so it's not like all of them are gonna be on the field. We're paying like a total of at least $30 million. Just Jamal's getting 18.
Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams.
I think Julian Love's at 8.
Yeah. We'll see. Hey, at least Jamal's off the PUP list.
Living his fantasy as a former safety. Oh, woo!
I knew that'd fire you up. But anyways, talking about the Cowboys offseason, they made a couple big swings here. They got Tony Pollard's going to be RB1 for him now. I think he should have been for a while now.
Moved off Zeke. Finally.
Traded for Stephon Gilmore to work opposite Trevon Diggs. That's fun. He's still a good player. Even at his age, he's a solid player. He's not the best corner in football anymore, but he's still a good corner.
He's solid.
Got Tyron Smith back for the 14 millionth year. Brandon Cooks to be third receiving option, maybe second, depending on how you view Michael Gallup. But that's fun.
Got Zach Martin to come back.
Yep, got Zach Martin back. Let's see. Are there any other big ones here? In the draft, got your boy Mozzie Smith.
He looked bad against Evan Brown. Bad. Against Evan Brown.
Yeah.
It takes time for D lineman to adjust. I think he'll be fine. Give him 2 years and or look back and say, man, he's a stud. It takes time for interior D lineman to figure it out.
Not much else to talk about with this offseason. I like my guy that I mentioned earlier, Donovan Wilson, brought him back. He's a fun piece in that secondary that I like a lot. And they got Malik Hooker back too to operate opposite Donovan Wilson. So
solid player.
Yeah, I think overall, they didn't have a lot of losses. They did. I'd say getting Gilmore and Cooks, 2 aging players, but ones that still have gas in the tank. Not a great draft in my opinion. Not one really to write home about, but I think they held. They tread water basically. I don't. They didn't make a big splash.
Where they had to make tough choices. They didn't have to do that this year.
Yeah. So looking ahead to their schedule, we already got the first 5 games in here. So they beat the Giants, lose to the Jets, beat the Cardinals, beat the Patriots, lose to the Niners. They go to the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Chargers coming off a bye.
That'll be fun.
Kellen Moore revenge game?
Chargers.
I think so too. Kellen Moore revenge game.
They're going to run up that score. They're going to run it up so much.
Can they run it up against a Dan Quinn defense though? They're gonna definitely. I think the Chargers win, but it's gonna.
They're gonna try. Well, how about this?
They're gonna try.
The game will be won, and they're gonna be throwing bombs. Like
That's fair. That's
rather
fair. I
than
think
running
they'll
it
get
out.
to. It'd be funny. It'd be
Eagles.
the most Chargers thing to be doing that, and then they end up throwing like a pick six and lose.
Oh
That would be
yeah,
a very
strip
Chargers thing to
sack.
do.
Oh yeah.
A strip sack, yeah. Like
All
it's
right.
like 3rd and 3 with a they have a 4-point lead. Cowboys have one timeout, so they're like, let's pass the ball. We don't want to risk running it. So strip sack, Micah Parsons returns it for a touchdown. Cowboys win. That would be the most Chargers way to lose the game, I think. So there you go. That's on the record. That's my prediction for how that game will end.
I like that.
October 16th. Write it down. But again, for now, I'm gonna predict Chargers win that game. Get a bye week, beat the Rams at home, and then they go to Philadelphia.
And
not
they're going to
on
stun
Sunday Night Football.
the Eagles, the
Really?
probably
Okay.
undefeated Eagles.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the few games on the Phillies schedule we look at as losses. So, yeah, I like that. I like that. And here you go. How about another stunner? Because I know I've claimed to be very high on the Cowboys. I think Bryce Young and the Panthers with the mini bye, I think they can pull off an upset at home over over
that is
Dem
a
Boys.
shocker.
Yeah, I know.
I'll let you have it, but I wouldn't pick that. But,
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. There's a little bit of a stunner. There's weird games everywhere. So
there's 2 of them a week.
Exactly. So there you go. I think that's one.
What we're doing a total fool's errand right now.
Exactly. It really is. If we get half of these right, it would be kind of shocking. So
it would be a coup.
Exactly.
I shouldn't say that in the city.
There you go. Speaking of the city, they play Washington.
Air's probably got tracking everywhere here.
That's true. Speaking of speaking of the city,
I'm really sorry.
They destroy Washington the next week. Actually, they lose to Washington next week.
Why do you have Washington winning then?
I was kidding. I was wrong. That's the Thanksgiving. Oh, what the heck? Do you see that?
Yeah, we picked that upset. Yeah,
we picked that. Okay.
I thought you were being serious. My bad.
No, my screen went black for a second. That was weird, but we're back now. So then I probably lose to Philly.
Revenge.
I can't imagine. Yeah, can't imagine the sweep. And then they finish off with a loss to the Bills, but then 3 straight wins over the Dolphins, Lions, and Commies to finish 9-8. Wow, I'm kind of surprised we have them at 9-8. Yeah,
it's
we want to go back and evaluate here.
Panthers.
Yeah, I think I'm willing to go back on that one.
10-7. I'll take it. Tough
10-7 feels
NFC
right.
East, NFC East, NFC West,
and
you got the Chargers. That's tough.
Yep. I think
I think AFC East.
Right. Yeah, that feels about right. I think
there's been a lot of cannibalism for teams not named Philadelphia.
Yeah, we only have 2 games to predict for Philadelphia. So I guess we'll hop right into the Eagles
first. Let's look at the Philadelphia Bulldogs offense.
Yeah, look at that, man.
Offseason.
Wait, hold on. Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, there it is. How about they only brought in, let's see. So they did let's talk about the losses first, because they did have a couple losses. Javon Hargrave's a loss. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that's a loss. Lost both their off-ball linebackers. I know you don't really care about that too much, but they did lose TJ Edwards.
Why they're not important when you have that kind of D-line.
And they have Nakobe Dean stepping in. So, but they brought back Brandon Graham.
Because you're white rule, I think.
Yeah, signed Rashad Penny. Got Marcus Mariota to be the Gardner Minshew replacement. Nicholas Morrow. Signed Terrell Edmonds, who's a downgrade from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, obviously, but can be a solid piece.
Funny if he brought in his brother to be the other off-ball linebacker.
That would have been great. Got Olamide Zaccheaus, who's kind of a fun name, literally, and literally a fun name to say, but also fun.
He was a receiver that got a lot of volume in that awful Falcons receiver run.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a wide receiver 4. That's a solid wide receiver 4. Got Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith. So, like you said, the Philadelphia Bulldogs, and Keely Ringo. And DeAndre Swift, of course. So
Keely Ringo playing safety. as he should be.
Man,
That'd be
it's a
pretty fun.
great off season here. Got Sidney Brown. Looking else here.
It's gonna be hard to replace Hargrave. They don't really have that. I think Milton Williams is the Eagle, right?
I mean, their Hargrave replacements Jalen Carter. So
Not the same player. Jalen Carter's not a 3-tech.
Miles Jack retired. What, 3 days ago?
He's gonna be a plumber.
He said he wanted to be.
Toilet. Old W high school guy.
Heck yeah, dude.
Hated the Huskies. Hated Sark.
And signed former Seahawks Freddie Swain. Just tip of the
Haven't we already seen him in these?
Wasn't he in the Dolphins? I think he was on the Dolphins.
He was a Dolphin or a Brown, I feel like.
Yeah. I want to say Dolphin, but he's been moving around a little bit.
Well,
so.
I'm not seeing. I don't think they're gonna lose to the Bucks.
They're not gonna lose to the Bucks.
And don't you think? Wait, let's scroll back up. Look at that date. That could be a little fun.
What's that? Which one?
Bucks. Look at the date. September in Tampa.
September in Tampa.
You know what?
Weird stuff.
Fuck it. Let's give him a win.
We're calling the upset. Okay, Baker Mayfield.
No.
Beating
Kyle Trask.
You think Kyle Trask will already be starting by week 3?
Not yet. Not by week 3.
Yeah, there you go.
I think this is gonna be Baker's high water point, and it's all gonna go downhill after that.
I can see that. We'll talk about that.
Let's have the Bucks start 3-0 again. What could possibly happen then?
Could see it. Hey, you know what? Hey, 2018 Tampa.
That's what I'm talking
beat
about.
The NFC champion or reigning NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. Early in the season, looked like they were going to make a run and fell apart.
Can we take a just tiny look at the first 2 Tampa games?
Yeah, it's fair. Let's do it. Minnesota and Chicago. I can see them beating Minnesota.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to that. I can see that though. But anyways, there's only one more Eagles game left to predict, and it's just kind of this non-factor game. Who cares? Eagles, Chiefs, like at least 2 teams people know about.
At Burrowhead obviously is going to be tough to win
on Monday Night Football too. That's
a worse Eagles team against a better Chiefs team.
Is this a worse Eagles team? I think on offense is better.
They lost the alignment. Simolo, right?
They did lose Simolo, yes. Did lose Simolo. But they did bring in I think DeAndre Smith is an upgrade over Miles Sanders.
He is. I can't believe they made it so far with their running back room. It really wasn't that good.
Yeah. Plus, they brought in Rashad Penny, who's healthy. He's fun.
Well, that defense is worse. That defense is definitely worse.
I think it is. It definitely is.
I think the offense is definitely going to be better than that.
They did lose both coordinators, too. I guess that's something you have to remember, too.
Let's do it. What's this team?
Yeah.
13
12 and 5. 12 and 5. Wow. 13 and 4. The Niners are the 1 seed in the NFC, unless none of these NFC South teams can beat. There you go, the number 1 seed, San Francisco 49ers. How do you feel about that? That's a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I take it back. Chiefs beat the Eagles beat the Bucks.
I was gonna say Eagles beat the Bucks. That's more fair. There you go. Okay, back to how things should be. Eagles number 1 seed. And that also makes it like if they weren't locked into 1, they would play starters against the Giants. So they wouldn't lose that game. But there you go. 13 and 4 Philadelphia Eagles winning the regular season NFC. Whether they win the NFC overall remains to be seen. But they 13 and 4.
They were really bad cock teases with the Bucks are going to win week 3.
Panthers are going to win week 11, and then we ended up backing down on them as soon as we saw the final record. Oh man, we had one of those each. So
yep, that's fair. Food do over.
Yep.
Has my camera been off for a while?
It's been off for a while, yeah.
I did not know.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So there you go. There's the NFC East, the NFC least, or the NFC beast. This year, it's a little bit of
Oh,
both.
beast.
This year,
There's a
actually, I
little bit
guess
of
it's perfectly split down the middle. It's perfectly symmetrical. Look at this: 13 and
Oh,
4 to 4
wow.
and 13, 10 and 7, 7 and 10, 4 and 2, 4 and 2, 2 and 4, 2 and 4. A perfectly symmetrical
Always
division.
happen. That symmetry always happens in like these predictions because
It really
in
does.
the games that you don't expect to happen.
Oh yeah, and then just random. Yep.
Variance.
All right, so we still need to find a loss for the Chiefs at some point because they're 11 and 0 right now.
Oh, geez. They're going to lose a divisional game.
Oh, they will. They will. They'll probably lose home against the Chargers. That's my prediction.
Don't
Yeah,
spoil our fans because we got to make sure we get some clicks.
That is very true. Maybe
All right.
maybe they beat the Chargers 40-0 at home. How about that? Who knows? You'll have to tune in.
Speaking of, all right, you have last words. I have a fun motivational message for our listeners.
Go ahead.
No, you get last words.
Oh, my last words. Okay, my last words first. I don't actually have a lot to add tonight. I feel really good about our NFC East predictions here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about the range all those teams will be in. I do think the commies probably end up a little bit better than that. Not a lot better, maybe 6 and 11, but I think they're going to end up better than that. The NFC is just weak. Honestly, I think we've talked about this. The NFC is weak.
It'll be interesting. It's been in a very long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, no Brady and no Rodgers. I mean, you lose them both in one off season. That's gonna do a lot of damage. So,
I like what you said though. I like what you said about range. I think that's what we're gonna be very solid on. Is range, like kind of tiers of teams. I think we're gonna be really solid about. The variance will trip us up a little bit, some here and there, but I think we're gonna be solid about who we think are really good, who we think are in the mix, and who we think are out of it.
I think we're a little too high on Denver too. But go ahead. Sorry.
Here's my motivation. If one of you clicks on the video, we all click on the video. If one of you clicks like on the video, we all click like on the video. If one of you presses subscribe on the video, we all subscribe to the video. Thank you for I'm channeling the wisdom of Coach Prime.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm with it. Yeah. Tell all your friends. Hey, if you're gonna watch this video, better make sure all your friends, all your family, they all also in. All in.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that's a great way to send off. I think we should probably send off that way every single episode until Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes go 2-10 this season. And then we can stop.
Do you think if Dion loses his foot and or leg, do you think he gets like a really cool, like jewelry filled like prosthetic? That'd be pretty awesome.
Oh, he definitely would. That'd be something he'd do.
Would he do what's his name? Sam Hartman, like make it into a chain like he's doing with his rib?
It's a good idea, actually. He probably would, honestly. I loved Dion when he worked on NFL Network. I thought he was their most fun analyst when he was still.
He was awesome.
Ever since he moved into coaching, it's just been downhill. At least my personal opinion.
Dion, I think it was in the Split Zone Duo podcast. I forget where, but there was an interesting talking about how like he's like kind of mixing conservatism, conservative values and views of the world with traditional Black masculinity, and there's some really interesting points about that.
There you go.
And I'd recommend giving that a listen. I forgot what episode, probably the title preview, but
more than likely.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. He did really well at Jackson State because he was recruiting at a insane level for FCS school. Yeah. Probably the best an FCS or HBCU team will ever recruit at.
Oh, easily. There's never going to be another
recruit in the country.
Exactly. That's never going to happen again. No.
He has a great OC, actually. I really like their OC from Kent State. I remember when the rumors were Mike Zimmer was going to be the Colorado DC.
Jeez, that would have been fun. Although I don't think he'd connect with kids very well.
Or with Dion.
Or with Dion. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
I
true.
think
Too.
Simmer's kind of an asshole.
He was, but he was an awesome coach.
He was a good coach.
Yeah.
I don't like how he called out some of his players though. Coaches, I really don't like coaches. You can do it in private, but publicly that's pretty gross to me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, now that he doesn't have that huge talent advantage, he'd have, in a very quarterback heavy league right now, it's going to be really hard to find winning edges, as the late great Bill Walsh would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be really interesting to see what his coaching chops really are all about. It's all about the wins, the glamour. It's about actually getting there. I feel like for I hate, those these are the same people are like, he's a first guy in, last guy out, lunch pail. I'd let my daughter date him, kind of, those guys. But I do think like the Canada Boers and the Jonathan Smiths, definitely on the opposite of the spectrum of Dion. It'll be interesting to see how Dion adapts to that.
I agree. I think, I don't know. It can end in a number of different ways, but I don't see them being a good football team. Not in year one, at least. Not in the Pac-12. Maybe someday in the Big Ten, but not in the Pac-12.
12. You said Big Ten.
But I thought I said Big 12. Maybe I did.
You said Big Ten. Reel that back. We actually can do this now.
Replay. Check the replay.
I wonder how well Shadur be just instantly named quarterback when it hits the fan a little bit. How the locker room's gonna like that.
Yeah,
Would he ever bench Shadur Sanders?
No,
he
wouldn't. He wouldn't. His ego is too big for that. Not that he'd ever do that, of course.
What if he really is not ready to be a Power 5 quarterback?
I don't think he is right now, and he's still getting the title.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but to be fair, do they have anyone better? And the answer probably is no. And they probably didn't last year either. That team was worse than the 08 Huskies or Cougs. That team was really bad.
That team was really bad. Oh man, 08 Huskies. They're 0-12, man.
The 08 Huskies were better than the Cougs that year. They just had, talent-wise, they just had the worst coach in history. They had Jake Locker, who.
That's true. They did have Jake Locker. They did have Jake Locker. I guess they did. I didn't even. Yeah, I guess you got a good point there.
That's gonna be. They're gonna be so fun to watch, and then in a couple days, we're probably gonna have to wait a little while. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna be at a friend's house, so it'll be a little.
That's all right.
That's all right. Sorry, guys, but you have to.
There's gonna be a little bit of a hiatus. There's gonna be a hiatus.
Enjoy week 0. There's some fun games. There's some fun games.
Hey, yeah, Notre Dame and Navy. If you got Pac-12 Network, you can watch USC and who's USC play? San Jose State. That could be low-key a fun game.
They have a good coach.
Yeah,
he was in the running if the board didn't say yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
You got is it Fresno State someone being broadcast exclusively on Univision? It might be New Mexico.
Let's see. Let's look at the full week 0 schedule here. Navy Notre Dame's the headliner. Let's see. Navy Notre Dame, UTEP Jacksonville State, UMass New Mexico State, Ohio San Diego State,
FIU Louisiana Tech. Fun.
Yeah. That's weird that game's starting later than San Jose State at USC starting.
Can you check the Fresno State schedule then for me? Their first game's on Univision. exclusively.
Purdue.
Maybe not.
Yeah, TV
No.
Big Ten Network. Oh, here we go. No, not exclusive. Eastern Washington. That's not exclusive
Damn
because
it.
that's on
Okay. I think conference play. Conference play. Damn it. I fucked
Yeah,
up.
I don't
Okay.
know what you're talking about. You're wrong.
I
You're
think I must
wrong.
have gotten
You're
misled
wrong.
on the internet. Oh, New Mexico, down there.
Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports
Yeah,
2.
I got disinfoed. Oh, god damn it.
We've been
Look
played.
up, look up Univision college football.
College football.
Univision.
Fresno State partners with Univision for historic. Let's read this article. Historic football broadcast will make history as the first exclusively Spanish language television broadcast.
Thank you. Maybe next year.
Make first exclusively Spanish language. No, it says September 9th home opener. That's the one we were just looking at.
Okay, I was right. Against
First
Purdue?
Exclusively?
Yeah. That might be a lie.
Interesting.
Let's be honest here. As a Spanish speaker, well, you probably could answer this better than me. Do you think there's a big Fresno State Spanish-speaking Fresno State football fandom? Eastern, maybe. Eastern.
Honestly, yeah, it is Eastern. Yeah. Honestly, I think there probably is.
There's actually a pretty decent Spanish-speaking area for Eastern.
I mean, that kind of like
cities.
central to south. California is mostly like, I mean, not to stereotype, but it's mostly farmland. So, yeah, I'd say probably.
But do they like football though? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the United States, you kind of have to like football.
Yep,
And there,
that's
I would say, especially on the West Coast and especially in like the Southwest, there is a large number of Hispanic families that do end up leaning towards football. I feel like you don't hear about a lot of them in like the NFL. They are there, but they are definitely in the Southwest, which is where Hispanic individuals are the most common in the country, of course. There are good numbers. So I think yes. I think yeah.
It's interesting that football isn't, or sports in general, isn't used as a political tool as much anymore because it's very effective. Football is a big way that they were able to actually integrate the South was through football. That's how they that's how race relations in the South got settled down a little bit. It was through integrated high school football.
Ever watch Remember the Titans, man?
Best football movie. But like that basically happened in a lot of southern towns.
Yeah, I can see it, man. I can see it. So,
okay,
I think that's a good way to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, this is an easy question, but I'll say it anyways. Which is better, Coach Carter or Remember the Titans? Easily Remember the Titans.
It's Remember the Titans. Fun. Coach Carter is probably the best high school basketball movie, but there's not like a lot of high school
actually, there's one that I know, and might not be basketball. It's a very obscure Disney Channel movie called Half Court Miracle, and it's about a black former NBA coach becoming NBA player becoming the head coach at a all Jewish school, and basically like the story of Hanukkah happening during the middle of like the championship game, where like the energy runs out at the school, but the lights stay on, and it's so cheesy. It's called like Full Court Miracle or something. I've seen it. It's not like once when I was like 10, but it sticks to my mind. It's just so funny.
As soon as I heard Disney Channel and basketball movie, I was afraid you were going to say High School Musical. I won't lie, but
oh no, Half Court or Full Court Miracle.
Full Court Miracle. I'll have to look it up someday, maybe.
But man, is Remember the Titans the greatest sports movie of all time?
It probably is. It's up there. Maybe Miracle too. The one about the U.S. hockey team against Russia. That's
Hmm.
probably up there too. Um,
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro. I don't know
That's the
semi-pro. I
Will
won't
Ferrell
lie.
basketball movie. Go Flint,
Oh
Tropics.
yeah. Oh
Jokinen.
yeah. I bet. Oh yeah. I bet that's up there. Actually,
In
no,
seriousness,
it's Waterboy.
Moneyball might be up there for me.
Oh, Moneyball. Moneyball's up there. So Moneyball's probably the best like sports management movie.
Hmm.
As far
Moneyball's
as like
more
the
of a
on field.
draw. It's
Yeah.
I'd say they're different vibes entirely than Coach Carter
No, it is because like I feel like
or Coach Carter. No, 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 no. Remember the Titans.
yeah. Remember, no, it is. It is. It very much is because with Coach Carter and that it's like Coach Carter and remember the Titans. Like the focus is what's going on the field and on the court. Whereas with Moneyball, it's like it's more about like the
Hmm.
management. Like
Who says the line? Remember the night they played the Titans?
I honestly don't know. I can't
Not the
remember.
head coach, the DC. That's
Is it
the
really?
we blitz all night. Oh, that line gives me chills.
I haven't watched
I
that
don't
movie in
want them
so long.
getting in the yard. We blitz all night.
I haven't
Let's
seen
have
that
them
movie in
remember
so
the
long.
night they played the Titans. Oh, that's a great. Ooh, blind. Speaking of recent drama, Blindside's up
Oh,
there.
Blindside. Blindside is a good movie too, honestly.
Man,
Even with
Blindside's
everything's
probably
going on with it.
ruined now.
Blindside is ruined now, honestly, which is a shame because it was a dang good movie,
So
man.
it turns out the court people were right in the movie.
Yeah.
Did you see that reel that I was thinking a while ago of like creepy,
Yeah, yeah,
the
of Peyton Manning.
creepy, the
Yeah, that
creepy
one I
Blindside
love
was
it.
right the whole time?
I remember seeing that when the movie came out. I remember seeing that on like YouTube probably, and I thought it was so funny and it aged very well.
It's very well. Speaking of things that age well, Pete Carroll throwing no look passes.
Think he was throwing no look passes by accident, man. I think his arm literally just wouldn't go where his
That
face was
was
looking.
you saw that. Did you watch the full edited
I
video
watched it. I watched it where it
of
was
him
like
like
spliced together
throwing,
with actual good passes, but
but
like it was
very
edited.
clearly lazily spliced?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then and
Actual.
then like and then Will Ferrell, Snoop Dogg, and Roger Goodell, and now Chris Berman like did commentary about it.
Really, I didn't see that. Okay, I didn't see that.
Oh, it's so funny. Well, because like Pete Carroll's still friends with Snoop and Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed living in LA.
Who wouldn't, man? Who wouldn't? Lincoln Riley clearly does.
I hope he
So
doesn't leave anytime soon.
he
So we
will
know
not
who's getting
be.
the first call.
Yeah.
Jimmy Lake.
Yep. Jimmy Lake. Well, if Alex Grinch gets fired, Jimmy Lake will get a call.
I don't know. Jen fired him.
She fired him, but
I heard a lot more recently, now that she's gone, is that it was upper management being pissed that the biggest reason that Jimmy got fired was the academic prowess comment.
huh. Yeah, that
That
didn't seem
a
like it
lot
was a
of
big
upper
deal in
management
the huh. I mean, I wasn't in
felt
upper
like
management, so I wouldn't know.
he really insulted the university, and like upper management doesn't, or upper campus doesn't view UW and Oregon. They view them as close friends and supporting each other versus bitter at rivals. So they
Huh.
felt that
That's upper campus problem,
they
man.
upper campus
That's
controls the
true.
money,
They're the ones
controls
in
the purse
charge at the end of
strings.
the day.
Reverend, or what's it now? Regent, the one of the wife beater. What was it?
Oh man, I can't remember. It was
Regent
funny though.
Walker.
Yeah.
Turns out that's a woman.
Huh. Not a guess that, to be quite honest with you. But
Me neither. On closer examination, I could see it,
yeah.
but we're
I
still
wasn't
live.
paying that close attention to be fair. Are we still live? Yeah, we've been live for the
Oh,
whole time.
jeez. All right, thanks for listening to the
Yeah,
thanks
we're
for listening
still
to West
going,
Coast
but
Draft Pod. I know as known as what's the other name we have? Sidetrack Podcast.
sidetrack
Um,
podcast. Yeah, you guys got like
if we
20 minutes of
watch the video,
sidetrack
if we get
podcast right there.
sidetracked, we all get sidetracked. If you click like, we all click like. If you click subscribe, we all click subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.